Hi, welcome to my podcast, Becoming a Cut Flower Grower. I'm your host, Lydia, and I'm here to share my year of growing and selling cut flowers. I'll be giving you the lowdown on everything I'm doing and sharing all the highs and lows, the good times and the inevitable disasters, all in real time. Join me on my cut flower journey, starting right now. Hello and welcome to the latest episode. I'm talking to you from the plot, so I'm sorry if the audio quality is not brilliant. It's a little bit tricky up here. There's quite a lot of background sound. I'm very pleased to say that the digger man has been here. He came yesterday, so I'm recording this on Thursday evening. And the digger man came yesterday afternoon in the blazing sunshine. It was absolutely roasting. And then he came back this afternoon just to finish off, and he has done the most amazing job. So it's not the guy that I had done an emergency stop on the high street and went to talk to him. He just completely vanished off the radar and never got back to me, so that didn't work out. This was a new digger man who actually turned up to the plot to collect a piece of equipment that was parked up here, and he confused it with my other half's trailer and went over and tried to work out how to remove my other half's trailer. So I went down and challenged him, thinking he was just stealing it, and we got talking, and I just said to him, what do you do? And he's like, oh, groundwork. So I was like, oh my goodness, have you got a digger? And he said, yes. I was like, perfect. Don't suppose you fancy lifting some turf, do you? And that was last week, and he said yes, and he actually turned up yesterday exactly when he was supposed to do it. Did a brilliant job. I don't know if you've had experience with tradesmen and landscapers and groundwork people, and some of them, you say what you want, you say what you want them to do, and they sort of look at you and then they'll just do something completely different, or they'll just override you or argue or whatever. Anyway, this gentleman, Nigel, he was an absolute superstar. So I told him exactly what I wanted, and he just went and did it. Didn't argue with me, didn't do anything apart from what I'd asked him to do, and he's done a really, really good job. So we had this tricky balance of not taking too much turf away. We wanted to get all the roots out, but not disturb the soil, not take too much soil away, because he happened to know the field and he knows it's chalky and that there is not much soil there. So you can't just be scraping everything away and hoping that you're going to have a couple of feet of soil underneath, because that is not going to be the case in this location. And he was very good. He's managed to kind of bridge that gap, if you like, and just take away the very top layer and leave behind the soil, which is pretty dry, as you would expect, because we haven't had any rain for, 6 weeks or something. But overall, I think the condition of it is really awesome. I'm actually very excited about it. And he's left me a sort of strip around the edge so that I can put the fence panels back up, and then put some chicken wire down up against the fence panels so the fox can't dig under and get into the plot, because once you get into the flower area, you can then get into where some of the chickens are. So he did it all, and he's piled all of the turf up on one side for me so that it will rot down and eventually turn into a compost, and I can use it as a mulch. So very, very exciting, and he was a really, really nice man, and hopefully our paths will cross again in the future if I need anything else doing. So yeah, overall it's all really good. If I sound a little bit flat and not as excited as maybe I thought I would be, it's because when I came up to the chickens yesterday morning, so that's Wednesday, I had a really, really tight schedule yesterday, and the whole day was planned to the minute, all these different places I had to be and things I had to do, and you can almost guarantee that when you have a day like that, something will go wrong right at the start and just blow the whole thing out of the water. And that's what happened. So when I got up to the plot and let the chickens out, one of my best girls, Goose, she was last out of the house and just didn't seem herself, and when she turned round and walked off, she had this massive, massive hole in the back of her back end, and somebody or something had attacked her in the night and left this enormous gaping wound. And I won't go into any details because it was just horrific, and it shocked even me, and I've seen some accidents and injuries up here. So I rang the vet straight away and they said just bring her right round. So I drove round, had to sort everybody else out up here, try and stop the bleeding and put her into a little cat basket that I have and get her up to the vet straight away. And the vet said, he said the prognosis is not good. He doesn't think she's going to survive. But I said to him, well, she's my best girl, and she's one of my best girls anyway. She's one that had from a baby here a couple of years ago, and she's very special. She's the sole survivor of the burglary I had, and I thought I'm not going to let her go without a really, really good fight. So the vet said, fine, I'll stitch her up, and then we'll just have to deal with any risk of infection because, you know, this injury is underneath her bottom, so, you know, you can just imagine. I won't tell you. So I had to leave her at the vet's and go on and do a job that I had to do, and then go straight back to the vet's afterwards and pick her up. And she's had a really massive dose of long-acting antibiotics. So hopefully that will do the job, and I've got some special gel that she has to have on the affected area. And she looks like she's had a bum lift, actually. She looks kind of half the size of what she was on Tuesday, because of the, luckily there was enough skin to be able to stitch her back up. But she basically looks like she's had a bum lift. Most of her bum has now just completely disappeared. So she's going to look a little bit odd forever, but I'm just hoping she pulls through, because I think she'll be okay for the first couple of days, and then it's just really if there's any infection that's inside her cavity that is going to cause us some problems. But fingers crossed. But I must say it took the shine off yesterday because it was incredibly hot. I was rushing around trying not to let people down, trying to sort her out, and she's going to need round-the-clock care now, which is not a problem at all. She'll move in with me and it'll be fine. But I was so fraught by the time I turned up to meet the digger man. And as I was driving here, there and everywhere, I was thinking about all these things I wanted to tell him. And of course, I couldn't write them down because I was driving. So I recorded a voice note of all the things to tell him. So when he arrived, I said, look, I'm really sorry. I've had a terrible morning. Can you just please listen to this voice note? And it's me just telling you what I want. So I stood there like an idiot, holding my phone out to his ear while he could listen to me shouting into my phone about what I wanted him to do. So he must have thought I was absolutely bonkers. Anyway, it's done now, and I've just got like my fingers and toes and everything crossed for her. And I'm dreading the bill coming because the vet did give me an estimate of the cost, and it's just, you know, money will be found for it, but it's, you know, pretty rubbish time. But what can you do? You know, I wasn't going to let her go, so yeah, I kind of don't feel as excited as I thought I would, really. I've been, you know, thinking about this for a couple of weeks now, as you know. I've shared it with you, and I thought I'd be jumping around with joy, and it's really just taken the edge right off it, because it all pales into insignificance with the health of my family, because they are my family. I haven't got any children, like the chickens. Sad as it may sound if you're not a chicken person, but they are my feathery family, and I'm very attached to all of them, and it's just very shocking when something awful happens, and I still don't even know how it happened. So I've put a camera in the house at night to try and work out what's going on. But there we go. So it is exciting. I need to sort of refocus back on the plot and get excited about it, because I have now an additional 171 square metres of cultivatable land, which is just astonishing. So he's lifted this rectangle of turf that was outside the actual fence panels of my plot, and then I dropped some of the panels, and then he lifted some of the turf from the inside that I would just never have got round to lifting. And honestly, what took me, I think it used to take me an hour to lift 1 square metre, and he's done 171 square metres in 3 hours. So it's ridiculous how fast it is with the equipment, just mind-bogglingly fast. So I'm very, 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 very excited about it, and I'm looking forward to getting everything out now, because we are, God willing, going to have some rain. I I think not next week, but the week after. So I'm thinking, right, I've got next week to get as many seedlings and dahlias out on the plot. And then when we have the rain the week after, it'll really, really take the pressure off that first week of watering, because we still don't, I say the royal we, it's only me. I don't have very much water up here at all. I've got about 600 litres in the Bowsers, and I'm really, really trying to be as cautious as possible, because the bottom 100 litres of each Bowser you can't even get out because of the placement of the tap. So the water that's in the very, very bottom falls below the tap point. So that's a write-off, ignore that. And then always in the back of my mind, I think I've got to leave some water up here if there was an accident or there was a fire, or it's mostly fire that I worry about when we have drought. And I think, gosh, if something really serious happened, I need to keep that water. So the plants are getting water, but they're just not getting very much water. And we just have to see everything's going to survive, but it's not thriving, put it that way. And I also had another water issue yesterday when I was carrying these enormous fence panels, and they're like 3.5 meters long by 2 meters tall. And I was lugging them around yesterday, and I was really tired anyway, and it's very, very hot here in the afternoons. And I managed to knock one of these metal fence panels into one of the water Bowsers and completely smashed the tap fitting off. Now, thank God it wasn't the actual tap that turns the water on and off, because that would have literally been the end of days. It was the bit that, I don't know what you call it, the outlet pipe or something. This really nice fat pipe that comes down after the tap, and the water comes out of that. Just completely smashed it off. I thought, oh, well, that's wonderful, because yes, I can still get the water out, but the bit that it comes out of is smashed off. And of course, I also broke the hose fitting inside the third water Bowser. So yeah, really not my week for water this week. But it's been quite overcast today. The temperature's dropped quite a lot. In fact, I've had a jumper and a jacket on today. I've been really cold. So hopefully that really takes the pressure off, because the plants just aren't losing as much water through transpiration. So that is all fine. So that is the whole situation with the digger and the digger man. And afterwards, I'm going to talk to you about something completely different. Well, I'm back. This is part 2. This is the second part 2. I did do a part 2 on the plot, and the audio quality was so dreadful that it's actually going to be unusable. So I thought I'll cut my losses, put the birds to bed, and come home. I don't know what the problem is. I've been recording up there for however long the podcast has been going, since January, and I don't think it's been that terrible, but the last couple of weeks have just been awful. And it's strange because the leaves are out on the trees, so it should sort of dull down the road noise, but I don't know why the microphone is picking up the traffic so much. Anyway, I'm sorry about the dreadful quality on the first part of that. So you can probably tell from my voice that I'm a little bit distracted today and just, not feeling 100%. So I don't think I'm going to waffle on for too much longer, because nobody wants to listen to me being a bit flat on the podcast. I want to be, positive and energetic. And I know I said, ups and downs, highs and lows and stuff, but, the business to do with goose and stuff, that's not cut flower related. So you don't have to listen to all of that. Me being miserable about that. I want to, share more stories about the growing the cut flowers. That is, after all, why you're here. So I'm going to sign off and wish you all the very best for a wonderful weekend. And by the time the next episode comes out on Tuesday, I very much hope to have filled my not all of the 171 square meters. That would be impossible, I think, even for me. Sorry, not even for me. What I mean is, in that time frame, I don't think I actually would be able to do anything anyway. Yeah, that didn't come out right, but you know what I mean. I won't have the time to put every single thing out by next Tuesday, but I hope to make inroads into the newly turf lifted space and to have a positive story about what I've been doing up on the cut flower plot. So have a wonderful weekend, all the very best, and I'll catch you next week.